What if an entire community vanished into thin air, leaving no trace of their existence behind? Imagine, if you will, the year 1587. A group of English settlers arrive on the shores of what is now North Carolina, establishing the first English colony in the New World, Roanoke. Fast forward 3 years. They've vanished, leaving no trace, no explanation. This is the enigma of the Lost Colony of Roanoke, the oldest unsolved mystery in America. Our journey begins in the year 1587 in the reign of Queen Elizabeth I. This was a time of exploration and discovery, an era where brave men and women dared to venture into the unknown. Among these pioneers was Sir Walter Raleigh, an Englishman with a dream of establishing a colony across the Atlantic in the New World. Raleigh, though never setting foot on the colony himself, funded and organized an expedition to the island of Roanoke, situated off the present-day North Carolina coast. 115 English men, women and children sailed across the treacherous Atlantic, leaving behind the familiarity of their homeland for the promise of a prosperous new life. On reaching Roanoke, these settlers, under the leadership of John White, faced a land that was at once beautiful and daunting. It was a place of dense forests and marshy swamps, teeming with unfamiliar wildlife. They were not the first Europeans to set foot here. A previous expedition had left behind a small group who had vanished mysteriously by the time the new settlers arrived. The settlers of Roanoke had to navigate not only the challenges of this strange new land, but also the intricate relationships with the local native tribes. Some tribes were friendly, sharing their knowledge of the land and its resources. Others were hostile, viewing the settlers as intruders on their ancestral lands. These interactions were complex, fraught with misunderstandings and cultural clashes. Life on Roanoke was far from easy. The settlers faced harsh weather, food shortages, and the constant threat of attacks from hostile tribes. Yet they persevered, building homes, planting crops, and laying the groundwork for what they hoped would be a thriving colony. Little did they know, they were about to become part of a mystery that would perplex historians for centuries. John White, the governor of the colony, set sail back to England for supplies, leaving behind his people and his own daughter. The year was 1587, and the colony of Roanoke, established on the eastern coast of what is now North Carolina, was in its infancy. Little did White know that his departure would mark the beginning of one of history's most enduring mysteries. The journey back to England was not a simple one. The Anglo-Spanish War had ignited, making the seas a perilous battleground. The war proved to be a formidable obstacle, delaying White's return to Roanoke. For 3 long years, the colony was left to its own devices, with only the supplies and survival skills they had brought with them from England. The colonists were not entirely alone, however. Native tribes, some friendly, others not so much, populated the surrounding area. The English settlers had established relations with some of these tribes, but the relationships were fraught with cultural misunderstandings and territorial disputes. It was a precarious situation, to say the least. As the war raged on across the Atlantic, the people of Roanoke were left to face the harsh realities of their new home. The land was unfamiliar, the climate harsh, and the threat of conflict with neighboring tribes was a constant worry. It was a time of uncertainty, a time when the line between survival and disaster was perilously thin. The 3 years of John White's absence must have felt like an eternity to the men, women, and children left behind. Every day was a struggle, every night a test of their resolve. Despite the hardships, they persevered, driven by the hope that White would return with the much-needed supplies. And then, in 1590, John White finally returned. But the colony he had left behind was nowhere to be found. The homes were deserted, the fields lay fallow, and there was no sign of a struggle or battle. Upon his return, White found the colony deserted, with no sign of a struggle or battle. The only hint of what might have happened was a single word carved into a wooden post: CROATOAN. This cryptic word, CROATOAN, has been the subject of countless speculations and theories. What is its significance? How does it connect to the vanishing of an entire colony? Let's delve into the enigma that it harbors. CROATOAN was the name of an island situated not far from Roanoke, now known as Hatteras Island. It was also the name of a Native American tribe allied with the English residing on the same island. This raises the possibility that the colonists might have moved and integrated with the CROATOAN tribe. However, things aren't that simple. no conclusive archaeological evidence has been found to support this theory. Yes, there are artifacts from the time period on Hatteras Island, but it's not clear if these belong to the lost colonists or if they were the result of later trade. Some propose that CROATOAN was a distress signal, or perhaps a code. Others suggest it might have been a red herring, intended to mislead anyone who might be following the colonists. Each theory adds another layer to the mystery, yet none provides a definitive answer. The word CROATOAN is a haunting remnant of the lost Roanoke colony. It's a word that echoes through the centuries, a word that invites intrigue and speculation. It's a word that, despite its simplicity, holds an entire world of possibilities. Could the word CROATOAN hold the key to this centuries-old mystery? Over the years, many theories have been proposed to explain the disappearance of the lost colony. Our first theory delves into the possibility of assimilation. It's plausible that the colonists, faced with the harsh realities of survival, chose to join local indigenous tribes. Historical records and oral traditions of the local tribes hint at the presence of light-haired, blue-eyed individuals among their ranks. Could these have been the descendants of the lost colonists? The theory is tantalizing, yet concrete proof remains elusive. Then there's the theory of disease or starvation. The New World was teeming with unknown pathogens, and the colonists, with their limited medical knowledge, would have been ill-equipped to handle an epidemic. Moreover, the colony was established during a severe drought. Food would have been scarce, hunting difficult. Might the colonists have succumbed to the unforgiving forces of nature? It's a grim possibility, but without physical evidence, it remains just that, a possibility. Our third theory takes us down a darker path, a massacre. Relations between the colonists and the indigenous tribes were strained, to say the least. Could this tension have escalated into violence? There are clues that suggest this may have been the case. The word CROATOAN, found carved into a post at the deserted colony, was the name of a local tribe. Was this a desperate final message or a mere coincidence? Again, without definitive evidence, we can only speculate. And then there are less conventional theories. Alien abductions, time travel, even a curse, all have been suggested, and while they make for entertaining conversation, they lack any real substance or evidence. Each theory, however compelling, lacks the definitive evidence to solve the mystery once and for all. We continue to probe, to question, to wonder. The lost colony of Roanoke remains a haunting enigma, an enduring testament to the mysteries of our past. The lost colony of Roanoke remains one of history's most intriguing mysteries. It's a tale that has captivated the minds of historians and mystery enthusiasts alike for over 4 centuries. This enduring enigma is not just a historical oddity. It's a stark reminder of the challenges faced by the early settlers, their indomitable spirit, and the unforgiving nature of the New World. The lost colony of Roanoke is more than just a mere missing persons case from the annals of history. It represents an entire community that vanished without a trace, leaving behind a bewildering clue, the word CROATOAN carved into a post. This singular piece of evidence has fueled countless theories and speculation. But the truth remains elusive. The cultural significance of the lost colony cannot be understated. It's a story that has permeated popular culture, featuring in books, movies, and even television series. The enigma continues to inspire, to intrigue, and to beguile, drawing us back time and again to ponder the fate of those early settlers. In recent years, archaeological efforts have shed a glimmer of light on this enduring mystery. Excavations on Hatteras Island, once known as CROATOAN, have unearthed artifacts that may well be linked to the lost colonists. These include pieces of pottery, fragments of tools, and even personal items, suggesting that the colonists may have integrated with the local Native American tribes. Ongoing research into the lost colony is a testament to our inherent need to solve mysteries, to seek answers, to bring closure to stories left incomplete. Yet, despite these efforts, we're still left with more questions than answers. The lost colony of Roanoke remains a tantalizing puzzle, a piece of history lost in time. Until the day we unearth the truth, the lost colony of Roanoke will continue to haunt our imagination, reminding us of the fragility and unpredictability of human existence.